Well, look who's back in Cleveland. CC Sabathia, the Lifetime Achievement Award winner at the Greater Cleveland Sports Awards. I can say this, and I can speak for baseball fans all around Cleveland. Welcome home, CC. It's good to have you back.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good to be back.
What does it feel like to come back home? And this is always a great night in Cleveland during the sports awards. And the Indians were always a big, big part of it. And to win this award, I think it's really neat. I am a past winner of the award, so I have lived in your shoes at least for one day in my life, and it's overwhelming, I think.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. I'm excited to be back. I always consider Cleveland home. I kind of grew up there. The four of my kids were born there. So it's going to be exciting to come back. My mom's coming, my wife's coming, my godmom's going to be with me. So it should make for some great memories, some good storytelling, and I'm looking forward to it. I did see that you have won the award before, I'm in good company, so that's great.
I'm going to give you a copy of my speech. You can take a look at it, all right?
For sure.
Let me just say this. It was many, many, many moons ago, and I'm down in Winter Haven at the Indians training facility down there, and I'm talking to Mark Shapiro, and we're going to do an interview, and he says to me, I'm going to bring out this big kid that we have drafted, and he is going to be the future great ace pitcher in our rotation. Now, it might take a little time, but not too much time. And lo and behold, you as a teenager come walking out of that dingy minor league locker room, and we do an interview. I don't know if you remember that, but that was look at how it played out.
I know, right? Mark was always great to me. He always believed in me. He always, he was always just a great role model and kind of a father figure, especially after my dad passed away early in my Cleveland career. Me and Mark got really close, and, we still have that relationship to this day. And, I don't think, if I got drafted into a different organization, that things would have played out the way they did, for me, especially with all the troubles that I had, with the alcoholism and all of that stuff, going through that. Being in that organization and having that strong foundation and people that really care about you from day one was huge for me. And the Guardians Indians organization was that for me.
I've heard, I hear you say it right now, but I've heard so many other guys that came through the organization talk about what a family atmosphere it was to come through the different levels and then finally make it to Jacobs Field, Progressive Field, and be with the team. And it really was a great close-knit type of society.
Yeah, it really was. And they just taught you how to be good teammates, and not and care about, other people and their situations and what they're going through. They really set you up to have a successful big league career. I mean, kudos to that organization. So many great players have come through there and went on to have great careers, but it's because of that organization and the way they set you up. And, we had host families, we would come in the wintertime in Cleveland and just get used to the city. And, the people were so welcoming and the fans were so great and the organization was great. It just set you up to have a great, to have a successful career.
CC, what was it like being the guy in their rotation, the number one guy for so many years that they would give you the ball on opening day? They would give you the ball to hopefully start off a big series. And you mentioned, that you went through a lot in your life. It was a tremendous responsibility, and you were so young when you kind of got the ball in big games.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was overwhelming at first. I think we traded Bartolo in 2002. And it was like, well, all right, see, like now you the ace. And, I was 22, 23 years old at the time. So I was still trying to figure out everything, as far as on the mound, personal life and all these different things. But I mean, just being thrust in that situation is so young. I think it helped me, it helped me grow as a person, helped me grow as a pitcher, really understand how to get deep into games and what my team needed, how to be a leader. Would still being on the pitching staff, had I not got that opportunity so young, I think it would have took me longer to figure all those things out.
I was wondering, so I'll ask you, are you surprised that as you look back at your Cleveland years, that one of those teams, if not a couple of those teams, would have gone all the way and won a World Series?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I definitely think the 07 team was a missed opportunity. And I honestly, I take all the responsibility and the blame for that. I've said it, a bunch of times that if I pitch the way I pitched down the stretch in Milwaukee in '08, or even the following year in New York in '09, that '07 team is a World Series team. We were up 3-1 on Boston, with a home game, had a chance to close it out and just couldn't do it. I was on the mound that day and couldn't do it. So, yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where I feel like if I pitch better, I feel like we definitely win the World Series in '07.
Boy, I remember the setting, though. You went up against Josh Beckett that night, didn't you, in that game? What was it like, CC, when that ballpark was full and you have a pennant, hanging out there that you can win the American League Championship, and you're out in that bullpen warming up, and you walk out of that bullpen, you've done your warm-up, and now you're going to come into the dugout, and that crowd would just pull you with tremendous emotion. What was that like to be in the center of that? I mean, you're in the center of it on the mound, but
yeah,
you're walking down through that field, getting ready.
No, it's an incredible feeling. So much energy in that park, especially for those playoff games, and especially at that time. The fans and the buzz around the city and downtown was great. I mean, I would even say, getting a chance to pitch there in 17 as a visitor with the Yankees, being able to warm up in that bullpen and then have the buzz of the crowd and all of that. For me, it felt like a home game. Anytime I got a chance to pitch in Progressive Park, I know where everything's at. I know where the radar monitor is. I know where to look to, where the count is going to be. So it's always a home game, and it's always comfortable anytime I can pitch in that park.
As I can remember, it was kind of like a home game for Didi Gregorius, wasn't it, that night? Didn't he build up 2 homers?
Yeah.
Hey, a lot of kids that play baseball will grow up still to this day and say, wow, the ultimate would be to become a New York Yankee, to put on pinstripes, and to play in the big ballpark in the Bronx. And you did it. So give us a slice of what it was like.
No, it was great to have that opportunity. I didn't, that wasn't necessarily my dream, though. For me, it would have been staying in Cleveland my whole career. I wasn't, I didn't grow up on the East Coast. I didn't understand, what the pinstripes meant or the history, the gravity of the history of the Yankees. Not until I got here. And I got this Yogi shirt on now, but, when I first got to spring training, it would be Yogi and Gator and Goose Gossage, Willie Randolph, Reggie Jackson. I mean, Greg Nettles. It was just star power everywhere. And, you kind of understand, the history of this organization and how heavy the pinstripes can be, putting them on and the pressure that it is to play in the city. Luckily, I was able to come in here, win a championship right away, and just kind of settle in. I think, having Andy Pettit, having Derek Jeter, Jorge Posada, these guys just, they welcomed me in right away. And, I became like a little brother to them, and they showed me the ropes of how to pitch and play here in New York. So I think I was blessed and fortunate in that way to have those great teammates. But that wasn't necessarily my dream. That was more my dad's dream for me to pitch for the Yankees. But for me, it would have been to stay in Cleveland my whole career.
Yeah. Boy, that's a great way to put it, that the pinstripes were heavy.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're heavy. They look good, but they're heavy.
They're heavy.
Doubt about it. Tell me this. Was it a difficult decision for you to be so open about what was going on in your life? And you have been so open about it, and I'm sure it's helped others.
No, it wasn't. It was more, and I think people, give me a lot of credit for being so open now, but it was a selfish decision at the time. I was doing what was best for me and my family, and, trying to make sure that, I was setting myself up for the future and being able to be a good dad and husband, going forward. Now people look back and was like, oh, it was such a great decision. And even, the response that I got, from my teammates, from the organization, from other players, Big Papi called me all the time. Carl Willis called me. Wow. So I knew I had made the right decision, but I didn't make the decision to, I can't sit here and say I made the decision to impact other people's lives. Yeah. I made the decision for my life and myself, and, me being super transparent about it. Hopefully it can help somebody. But again, it's for me, so that, tomorrow night, if we're sitting at the Cleveland Greater Sports Dinner, somebody offers me a glass of wine, then people at the table know my story
Mm-hmm.
and can hold me accountable. So
yeah.
that was a big reason why I was so transparent with it.
Let me tell you this, a quick story. I remember doing it one of your games, and it was I was with Rick Manning. We're over on Sports Time Ohio doing the game, and you were pitching that night against the Minnesota Twins. And I swear, see, you threw like a one-hitter that night, and the game was over in just about under 2 hours. And I turned to Rick Manning and I said, I could have gotten a dinner reservation for 9 o'clock at the Blue Point if I had known CC was going to be dialed in like this. I always felt that anytime you took the ball, that there was a chance you might throw a no-hitter.
That's awesome, and that's great to hear. I definitely didn't feel like that. But I mean, that's what you want, as the top end guy in the rotation, is for people to feel like that every time you take the ball, we have a really, really good chance to win. And that's the ultimate compliment. So thank you.
I'll get you out of here on this. We're coming up to a very different opening day on April 15th for us here in Cleveland. Team has a new name. There's a whole new stigma that goes along with that. Do you have a memory of opening day in Cleveland for you?
Oh, man.
Because you were a part of so many of them.
Yeah, my favorite opening day. Wow, that's a good question. I wasn't even there for my rookie year for opening day. I came up late. I guess my favorite one would have been, we played the White Sox in a really, really cold game. I think it was 2007 opening day, and I pitched against Burley, and we both had really, really good starts. So that was probably my best memory, is 07 pitching against the White Sox.
But if a manager comes up to you as a pitcher and says, hey, guess what? We're giving you the ball on opening day. That's a great honor, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's a huge honor. Opening day, first game of a playoff series. You kind of setting the tone for the season or the second season. So yeah, I mean, I took that. I didn't like it so much late in my career, but when I was young and I got to start opening day with the Indians, those were the biggest games of my season.
CC, it's so great to see you. Congratulations. It will be great to see you in person at the awards. And there's no doubt a Lifetime Achievement Award goes to you, and it is richly deserved. And you bring a lot of smiles on people's faces when they remember going to that ballpark and watching you pitch.
Oh, thank you, Jim. I appreciate it. I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow.